After watching the video on culturally responsive teaching, there were several ideas that stood out to me. One of the most impactful points was that being a culturally responsive teacher means intentionally engaging all students, not just those who are easy to connect with, those we naturally relate to, or those who share similar backgrounds. This idea challenged me to reflect on my own potential biases and the importance of being equitable in my attention and instruction. Another powerful concept that Dr. Wasserberg touched on was the garbage can analogy. I really liked this. Students closer to the front have an easier time making the shot, while those farther away face more difficulty. It represents how students come into the classroom with different advantages and different challenges. It emphasizes that fairness is not about treating every student identically, but about recognizing these differences and adjusting support so that all students have an equal opportunity to succeed. The PowerPoint also highlighted the disconnect that can exist between school culture and students' home lives. It reinforced the importance of understanding students' backgrounds, experiences, and strengths rather than expecting them to adapt entirely into a single dominant classroom norm. At the same time, a key takeaway was that culturally responsive teaching does not mean lowering expectations. All students should be held to high standards, even if that requires a different pathway of teaching it. Based on these ideas, my definition of culturally responsive teaching, or CRT, is an approach to teaching that actively recognizes, values, and incorporates students' diverse cultural backgrounds and experiences, while also providing equitable support and maintaining high expectations so that every student can meaningfully engage and succeed. This goes beyond acknowledging diversity because it requires action. It's not just about recognizing differences, but using those differences to shape instruction, and also relationships and learning the environment in meaningful ways. As a pre-service teacher, this definition would strongly influence my lesson planning. I want to design lessons that connect to students' lived experiences, interests, and cultural backgrounds. For example, in an art or English classroom, I might include diverse artists, authors, and perspectives so that students can see themselves reflected in the curriculum. I don't want it to be a one-size-fits-all situation. I want to also provide multiple ways for students to demonstrate understanding, so that I can recognize that students have different strengths. In terms of classroom management, culturally responsive teaching, CRT, would push me to build strong relationships with students and create a classroom environment rooted in respect and inclusion. One thing as a teacher, I will not tolerate disrespect. Like I said before, instead of using a one-size-fits-all approach to behavior, I want to consider students' backgrounds and experiences when addressing challenges. This also means being consistent with expectations while remaining flexible in how I support students in meeting them. For student engagement, this approach means to actively involve every learner. I want to make an effort to learn about my students' strengths and interests and use those as entry points into lessons. For example, I want to incorporate a lot of collaborative work, hands-on activities. This one's big for me because it incorporates mind and body, and student choice. I don't want them to feel like they have no say in what they do. I want this to bridge the gap between students' school and real lives. Engagement becomes more authentic when students feel seen. I want them to feel valued, empowered, and capable. Overall, the CRT shapes learning experiences by making it more equitable and meaningful. It assures that all students, not just the select few, have the opportunity to succeed while feeling respected and empowered in the classroom.